Techart is a company that you may or may not have heard of, but they certainly caught my attention with this, the new TZM-02 adapter that turns any Leica M-mount manual lenses into autofocus on Nikon Z cameras. Yeah! Hi, it's Cheng here from RED35. You all know that I now own and use Nikon's beautiful ZFC. And I did say that I don't intend to expand the system, as the ZFC is mainly my weekend joyride. But having said that, I will use it to review Z-mount lenses and accessory should the occasion arises. For those who may be wondering now, Techart does make autofocus adapter for other mounts, and I have the link listed in my video description below, and it is not an affiliate link, and I don't earn anything if you decide to buy anything from the website, so don't worry about it. However, a like and a sub will help me out a lot for this channel, and also taking the time out to review this adapter for you. Anyway, one of such occasions is here, and it is a pretty cool one too. Meet Techart's new TZM-02 adapter. Yeah, the name sounds like it came straight from a sci-fi research lab, and well, it actually feels like one too. And as I mentioned, this is an adapter that turns any Leica M-mount lenses into autofocus lenses on Nikon Z camera, full frame or crop. So in fact, in theory, you can adapt any lenses that's been converted to M-mount, then use this adapter on any Z cameras. But there are some limits which I will cover a little later. But first, let's have a look at the adapter in detail. The build quality of this TZM-02 adapter is fantastic. Full metal and feels more like a $1 million paperweight. Joking. What I meant, it weighs a bit for its size. Well, if anyone has any experience with teleconverters like Olympus MC14 or the MC20, well, Techart's TZM-02 has an external dimension of an MC14, but weighs more like a MC20. Yeah, if that makes sense, but you get the idea. So it's no surprise though, consider the construction of the AF adapter. It's packed with full metal parts, including some brass parts and 4 servo motors. This has to be one of the most dense camera adapters I've ever seen. And for that reason alone, I have to give top marks to Techart for such an achievement. Bravo! Well, the TZM-02 adapter is made for Nikon cameras only, and it can't be used in any other camera. But you can adapt other old SLR lenses by stacking adapters by first converting them into M-mount, then use the adapter for Z cameras. Yeah, it sounds kind of complicated, but in reality, it really isn't if you're used to fitting vintage SLR lenses onto any modern digital mirrorless cameras. However, the TZM-02 only works with the entire combination weight of less than 500 grams, which is the limit of what this adapter can hold. Well, at least according to the manual anyway. But the manual also says that you can use heavier lenses, but the lens has to be supported by the user, or tripod, or anyway, has to be supported. And then the camera has to be less than 500 grams. Yeah, kind of reverse application. So basically, what it's saying is that do not exceed 500 grams either direction. That's what it means. Unlike other old AF adapters I've seen in the past, including Metabone and Techart's own TZM version 1, the latest version supports literally all the features in modern Nikon cameras, including IBIS, all subject detection modes including human and animal detections, AFS and AFC in both stills and video modes. And it is pretty sweet if you ask me. There is no point writing a splendid spec sheet without real-world performance, right? Well, I'm glad to say that Techart's TZM-02 is by far one of the best performing AF adapters I've tested. Well, okay, it's still an adapter, so the overall performance will be affected by a number of factors. First, it is the size and weight of the adapted lens. Even though the adapter has a payload of 500 grams, you will find the TZM-02 perform best with lighter setups. So any old and fast SLR lenses, like some of those gorgeous 1.2 Canon FD prime lenses, may be just a little too heavy for it. But when you get the setup right, the speed is more than adequate, fast enough to track me in videos too. and I wouldn't use it for any type of fast action photography or even run and gun vloggings. But for general application, you'll be more than happy with its speed. It's pretty flexible too. Well, unofficially. But first, to use the adapter properly, you will need to manually set the focus of the adapted lens to infinity. But if you want to get some close-up shot with autofocus, you can turn the lens to its closest focusing distance and get close to your subject. Well, it is not a macro replacement by any means, but it does get you closer than the design of the original lens. To give you some example, most M-mount lenses will have the closest focusing distance of 70 centimeters, which is pretty poor by today's standard, but it is the limit for the rangefinder to work. So, you turn the lens to its focus closest distance and use the TZM-02, you can get a lot closer. And like I said, it is unofficial, so I don't have a figure to speak of, but it just works. And all in all, while it can't match the outright speed from native Nikon Z lenses, I really can't fault the performance of the adapter. This Techart TZM-02 has definitely grown on me during the past month, when I was using it with Laowa's new 15mm 0D, which I recently reviewed. The link is right up here. And of course, my ZFC, which I also reviewed, by the way. And the whole combination, it just worked almost flawlessly. Well, I said almost because I found that you really have to hold the lens and the camera in a certain way to not trigger the failsafe system from the adapter. What I mean is that the adapter's focusing mechanism is external, so it extends and retracts as it focuses. Therefore, any obstruction of the focus movement will result the adapter to stop functioning to prevent damaging the delicate motors. In other words, if you hold the lens and camera too tight, and when the adapter tries to focus, it will stop moving, and because of how you are holding the lens and camera. And at that point, you will stop and start to wonder why the adapter stopped focusing. Well, it isn't broken or anything, you just have to reset it. And to do it, you have to turn the camera off and on again. And I don't think it is a fault to the system, or actually the design of the system, because this is the only universal way to focus a manual lens without driving the lens internal focus holycoil. Therefore, you just have to, well, adapt a new way to hold your camera and lens when the adapter is in use. And finally, as weird as it sounds, there is a table that I would suggest you to either remember or print it out and keep it in your wallet. And this table highlights what aperture value you should be using when using the adapter. And this is to tell the system what focal length you're using, so the IBIS will work accordingly. But for my ZFC, well, it actually doesn't matter because it doesn't have any IBIS, unless I want to record the focal length in the metadata. Last but not least, you can upgrade the firmware yourself via the included rear cap that doubles up as a USB dock. Yeah, it has a port here, so the lens can communicate with your computer. Not the lens, the adapter, I mean. I keep saying it's a lens. Anyway, pretty clever. And other than that, I am impressed and thoroughly enjoyed Techart's new TZM-02 adapter. And as I mentioned, I don't have many Z-mount lenses, nor I intend to buy more. But I do have a fair few Leica M-mount lenses lying around. So the new adapter will be a frequent fixture for my ZFC. Nice. So to cut to the chase, I would definitely recommend this adapter if you're in a similar situation as me, or wanting to use some of the old manual SLR lenses or Leica L or M-mount lenses to your Nikon Z with autofocus. And this is by far the most convenient and reliable way to do so. And yes, it's worth every penny. So this is the end of my short review for the Techart new adapter, and hope you enjoy it. And let me know your thoughts about an autofocus adapter like this. Would you use one? And do check out the link to see what other mounts they produce, whether it's suitable for your camera system. Unfortunately though, they don't have a micro four thread mount, so yeah, I will leave it as that. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this review. And you know what to do now. Thumb if you like this video, and sub if you want to stay in touch with all things photography, filmmaking, and of course, camera, lenses, and techs. Peace. Welcome to my bonus section. Yes, I do like the Techart adapter, and I'm glad that I have one right here, right now, with my ZFC. And yeah, like I said in the video, I don't intend to expand the system too much, and I don't think I will be using this professionally, unless, you know, something dramatically happened with my Olympus or /OM system cameras, and also whatever happens in the future. But anyway, that's the future I cannot see, so I cannot talk about it. Let's talk about now. So the ZFC adapter is actually very good. Not ZFC, the TZM-02. It's just a mouthful name. It works brilliantly with all my Leica M lenses, and like I said before, and I do have a bunch of Leica M lenses. And yeah, before I switched to Olympus, there was a period that I was actually shooting exclusively with Leica M mount cameras. So I do have a fair few lenses lying around doing nothing at the moment. Because for the past 4.5, 5 years, I've been using Micro Four Third, primarily for work and everything else, really. So they are just gathering dust. But lucky that now I have this, and I can dig all these lenses out now and reuse it on my Nikon ZFC. Brilliant, and they work really well. And yeah, with the adapter, it's fast enough. It's not going to be the same speed, like I said in the video, as the Nikon native lenses. You can't compete with the speed, but it is certainly fast enough to do some tracking, and even in video it works really, really well. But also, like I mentioned as well, you know, really depending on the whole setup. The problem is some of these Leica lenses are pretty heavy, and even if you want to adapt some of the SLR lenses, just beware of the overall weight. So those 1.8 prime lenses in the past would be small enough to use the adapter with no problem. But if you want to start using 1.4 and even 1.2, you know, those big heavy primes, you can kind of forget about it, because it's really, really difficult to use them. And the adapter was basically starting to make noises, and you don't want to hear that because it may damage the actual motor and the mount itself. So try not to do that. But if you really want to use it, you can. You just have to hold the lens and let the camera move while the adapter is working. So that's the only way to do it. And otherwise, you will basically trigger the failsafe system and the thing will just stop. Apart from that, it's okay. It's okay. And I like it. And I do hope that they will continue to improve these versions and in this kind of adapter, and make more capable, maybe higher payload in the future, so that you can use heavier lenses if you really want to. That's it. That's it now. And remember to subscribe. You know, this really will help the channel out. And because I'm taking the time to do this, I don't earn anything from any sales that's generated from the link below. I don't get anything from them. And all I do is just basically review the adapter on its own. Yes, I am provided for free, but I'm also able to say whatever I want as well. So it's an honest opinion, whether you like it or not. I like it, and so I presented my case. Hopefully you will feel me as well. Anyway, enjoy your day wherever you are, and remember, go and keep shooting. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your day. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.